What's popping and what's dropping? Borrowing the catchphrase from my guy Jimmy McWright, my co-host, aka Jimmy JSmoove. This is Craig Smith from Let's Draw on Something with a new episode today, episode 30. On tonight's episode, with Jimmy and I, we're gonna give our thoughts on this new ESPN College Top 25, College Football Top 25. Also, our thoughts on the upcoming Alabama versus LSU game coming up. We got fan questions. And also, Jimmy J and I, we are gonna school you young people that get ready to come out of school, out of high school next year, and along with you older people on some proper job interview etiquette. Salute Marcus Johnson. So without further ado, Let's Draw on Something has been brought to you in part by Trey Styles, Customs and Designs. There's nothing he cannot customize. Hit him up for your NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, FCS, and MLS, along with custom t-shirts for family unions or newer baby arrivals or whatnot. Hit them up at 901-364-3698. That's 901-364-3698. And also, he told me to mention this. He does have a discount code, and you need to mention it. You got to do two things. Tell him Craig Smith sent you and mention the code discount code Murphy's Law. When you mention this code, if you have an order $40 or more, he will knock off 20% of your order. This is in effect until Black Friday, until the end of Black Friday at the end of this month, last Friday of this month. So that's right. Mention the code, tell them Craig Smith sent you, and say discount code Murphy's Law. Murph will give you 20% off on your order that is $40 or more. Not the other way around. 20% off on your order, on your entire order that's $40 or more. So without further ado, what's going on, Jimmy?
Man, everything is everything, man. I'm so glad to see the University of Memphis Tigers doing so well, man. But, college basketball, this looks like it's going to be a good college basketball season. As a matter of fact, one person I want to shout out to my boy Tim Barr, who played on the 2001 BTW state championship team with T-Head and Andre Allen. I wanted to give him a big shout out because, he's been going through hell in terms of, because he actually got his teacher certification. But what ended up happening was he couldn't coach at a certain school. But he still, what I liked about Tim is he's trying to get his life together in terms of, because he had some crazy ass charges when he was a kid, and no judgment here because I respect Tim Barr and I've had the opportunity to speak to him, but he studied coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he got the teaching certification, but he couldn't coach because of some legalities going on. So I just wanted to shout out to that brother for keep on. Trying to influence the younger generations. He's coaching kids as young as 5 years old and stuff like that. And one of the kids I saw, in Pee Wee League basketball, looks like T-Head shooting that mug. So, make sure you get control of him before he think he's Stephen Curry, man. Everybody ain't Stephen Curry, but he a kid. So, hey, let him have his fun. But shout out to Tim Barr. Hopefully he's the Memphis City schools, not Memphis City, Shelby County schools enable him to coach a middle school and possibly a high school team, because guys like him who's trying to give back to the community, especially in Memphis, because the dudes like him, I'm going to be honest with you, a brother like him should either be in Houston or Atlanta somewhere. Hell, even Chicago if some of those schools, because there's a lot of people from Memphis in Chicago. So, he should be in a whole nother city other than Memphis. But, like a lot of respectable people in Memphis, the few respectable people out there, they love their city so much that they be like, okay, I want to change what's going on out here. And I can't do nothing but respect it. And if I'm not mistaken, I've actually told dude, nigga, you need to go to Atlanta, nigga. And because a lot of local coaches are ending up in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Tim Barr, man. And, what I'm saying? Keep your head up, man, and keep on influencing these kids and teaching them the fundamentals of basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? Get a hold to little Stephen Curry over there now, man. But other than that, let the kids have their fun, man, and keep on coaching and keep these kids out of trouble, man. And much respect, Tim.
Mm-hmm. As Eddie Murphy said in Coming to America, teach him well and let him lead the way.
Oh, he doing that. I'll tell you that. He's doing that. He's
Show them all the beauty they possess side. Get him a sense of pride. Make it easier. Let the children play now. I'm gonna tell you how it used to be. I decided long ago that I'll never walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, you can't take away my dignity. Because of greatness. Love of all is inside of me. Yeah. Jimmy JSmoove!
Yes, sir.
Jimmy JSmoove!
Oh shit.
It's a nice little plug because we found out that Coming to America 2 is currently in production right now, and most of the original cast members will be returning, and they're filming. They're going to be filming the majority of it at Tyler Perry's new studio. So look forward to see what Eddie Murphy gonna come out with on that one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the mom in the movie is not going to be because she's no longer with us. She died.
Mad Sinclair, yeah, she's no longer with us.
Yeah, she died 24 years ago. So rest in peace to her. But for the most part, everybody will be on the cast. Man, fortunately, James Earl Jones is still living. So let's get his parts in before he drops on us, because he's at that age now to where guys like him will just drop, and a lot of times they don't really have health problems. Sometimes they're just old and it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? So let's go on and get him as much work as possible before and appreciate him while he's here. And that's one thing I respect about the gentleman who did The Lion King, by putting James Earl Jones in the John, I think his name Favreau. John Favreau, I think his name is. I don't know for sure. I know his last name is Favreau, but he said he didn't want anybody else doing that part. So I respect him for putting legend. So he gets my utmost respect for that. So just keep the guy working. You know what I'm saying? And get the job done, and hopefully it makes another $300 or $400 million like it did, like the original did. So much respect to Eddie Murphy and the entire cast.
Oh, most definitely. Let them wait. I'm talking to my son.
Prince Akeem.
Yep. All right, man. First topic. All right, yesterday the college football playoff initial rankings was broadcast on ESPN. They made some big little hoopla out of it. And ESPN has been slowly and surely I don't know about on Jimmy's end, but they have slowly been wanting my interest on some things. They made a big hoopla about this. So without further ado, I'm going to start from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
At number 25, we have Southern Methodist. Number 24, Navy. OK State at 23, Boise at 22, Memphis at 21, in which my opinion should have been higher. Cincinnati at 20, Wake Forest at 19, Iowa at 18, Minnesota at 17. Sorry about that. Kansas State at 17. Kansas State at 16. I'm sorry. Notre Dame at 15. I don't know who the fuck this is at 14. TT Young. I don't know who that is. I guess that's Texas, I guess. I don't know. Wisconsin at 13. Baylor at 12. Auburn at 11. Florida at 10. Oklahoma at 9. Utah at 8. Oregon at 7, Georgia at 6, Clemson at 5, Penn State at 4. My boys Roll Tide at 3. Jimmy's favorite team at number 2, and Ohio State at number 1. So Jimmy, looking at these rankings, man, and I don't know if you was hearing about it. Clemson at number 5 doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but that'll change. I strongly think that's going to change.
It's going to change.
That's definitely.
But if it doesn't change, then you know they're going to be on the outside looking in, because this is really the worst undefeated Clemson team I ever seen.
But I think that if it would be a big ass controversy if the selection committee don't let Clemson defend their national title. It'll be a big controversy because they did beat Alabama, even though the ACC is weak right now in comparison to past years. You know, again, I call the ACC football conference the baby SEC because they recruit the same amount of talent that the SEC. They're basically SEC country with a whole nother name. So I call them the baby SEC. So with that being said, I think it'll be a crime if they don't let if Clemson goes undefeated, which they may get another scare before the season's out. But if they run the table and go undefeated, it would be a crime for them not to let Dabo defend his title. It'll be a crime. Yes, Clemson looks bad. They look like some pure whole ass.
Agreed.
Trevor Lawrence has played like some whole ass. But the good thing about this defense is not lights out, but they played good enough to keep them undefeated.
Yeah.
They're not the defense. They're not the defense of last year, because the defense of last year would be shutting everybody down. They'll be shutting down.
Oh hell yeah.
The defense of last year, you know, like I said about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was not necessarily the reason why Clemson won the title. The reason why they won the title was mainly their defense. Trevor Lawrence, and this is not to take nothing away from the kid. You know, I want to see the kid gets his shine, but he was basically the closer after your team maintains the lead 2-run, 3-run inning like they do in baseball. So he was basically the closer. You know, the defense made the plays. Trevor Lawrence took advantage of the plays. He was an opportunistic quarterback. Now that his defense is not forcing the turnovers that they forced last year, Trevor Lawrence has had to do more, and the defense has played well enough not to put them in a position to where they won't go undefeated. So their defense is just good enough. Their offense is just good enough to you know, they do good enough not to blow up the game. You know what I'm saying? Now, another thing that's been helping out Trevor Lawrence is the running back Clifford, the running back, Etienne, I think his name. I can't think of
Clifford, Etienne, yep.
Clifford and Etienne. So yeah, Clifford Etienne have helped Trevor Lawrence tremendously, and he's already the all-time leading rusher, from my understanding of the Clemson record. So he's gotten a lot of help with the running game, more than he did last year, whereas he had wide receivers ready and steady, man. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
with Clemson should at least get a chance to defend their national title, regardless of how shitty they played in a weaker ACC, a putty patroller ACC in comparison to years. Because I think a lot of those teams in the ACC will go to the Big Ten and destroy most of the Big Ten. You know, with the talent level they got, I think they would destroy mostly everybody except Ohio State. Michigan would probably have a hard time with most of the ACC. They would probably, if they would win, but they would barely win. Wisconsin would struggle against everybody except Miami. They'll beat the shit out of Miami like they've been doing the last 2 years. So, you know, nevertheless, they should get an opportunity to defend their title. Now,
yeah.
With
I agree. I do agree, but you also got to consider, okay, they last 3 games. Listen to this: North Carolina State, that's a win. Um, Wake Forest is fucking dangerous this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got to play them at Wake Forest. And for what I heard, that's going to be a televised game on ABC. I don't know what's going to be the televised game on ABC set for Saturday night, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Wake Forest, man, Wake Forest ain't no joke, man. Because if Wake Forest knock Clemson off, and in South Carolina, and then like what they was, I was listening on one of the guys talking about on the Rich Eisen show on YouTube. He was saying it ain't, said South Carolina. He said it ain't South Carolina's fault that they're bad. He said they just have, they just haven't been playing well the past couple of years, But you know, Oregon, because the guy said that Clemson being the number 5 it should be a wake up call to Dabo Swinney, and basically it was just everything what you said. It
Yeah,
should be a wake up call. It should be a wake up call.
yeah. It definitely should be a wake up call. And again, they're doing just enough to win on both sides of the ball. They're blowing out who they need to blow out, and they're getting by on teams that they're hardly getting by on certain
Mm-hmm.
teams. So with Wake Forest being 7-1, their only loss is to Louisville in a major shootout. Like I say, man, this should be a wake up call. And like I say, my boy Dave Clawson over there at Wake Forest, he got them boys ready because this week they're going to be in Blacksburg. They should be able to beat Virginia Tech, even though Virginia Tech is coming with a big loss. But they should be able to beat them. So we're going to see. We're going to see. So good job with Dave Clawson. Good job with offensive coordinator Warren Rosario and Limp Hempfield of the defensive coordinator, first-year defensive coordinator. They're doing a great job over there. So it is what it is.
Yep. All right. Alabama and LSU, which is Jimmy's favorite team, in quotes. Who you got, Jimmy, and why? And what you think may be the X factor in that game, and determine how many points this game will be by.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't care how much I hate a motherfucker and hate a team. I'm gonna be realistic. This is a dangerous game for Alabama, especially who is not able to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dangerous game for them. LSU's already beaten Florida. They've already beaten most of the teams.
They beat 3 teams in the top 10.
They beat 3 teams in the top 10, stumped their asses out. So this is a very, very dangerous game for Saban. And then this is already a rivalry game, even though Alabama has dominated for most of this decade. For most of it, not all of it, but for a good portion of this decade, they've dominated. They've dominated the series. Whereas last decade it was pretty even. Last decade, most of the 90s it was hit or miss. The 80s was hit or miss with Alabama. So Alabama LSU. So with that being said, and this being an intense rivalry. And like I say, with LSU having more wins other than the team not named Tennessee or Auburn. They have the most wins against Alabama, historically speaking, with the teams not named Tennessee and Alabama. Those are the only teams that have more wins against Alabama than LSU. So this is a dangerous game. So I'm going to pick Alabama by 7 points. But I'm going to tell you, if Alabama goes in here bullshitting, they're going to lose. Mark my words. If they come in here bullshitting, committing stupid-ass turnovers, don't be surprised this might be a LSU win by 7. But either way, either team who wins is not going to win by no more than 7. If it'll shock me if Alabama comes in here, even though they have a top level recruiting class that they've been having for many years. It would be shocking if Alabama blew them out, and I would be happy if they blew LSU out, because I still can't stand Ed Orgeron, bitch ass. You know what I'm saying?
Which is public record.
That's public record. So I'm not going to root for I'm not going to root for LSU. But this is me being realistic, not unbiased, because I clearly want Alabama to win, even though that's a rival team to my Tennessee Vols. I'm being realistic as I can possibly be. This could be a loss on Alabama record if they come in here bullshit. So, for the keys to Alabama winning is, play Alabama football. The keys to LSU winning, don't get conservative. Throw that bitch downfield on them hoes. You know what I'm saying?
And they have never been conservative, dog. Never. I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So if they don't get too conservative, they can make this a game. But if they start fucking up and pussyfooting, this could be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Tua's gonna come play this week. So if Tua's not playing this week,
Nick will probably announce it the last minute.
Okay, so if Tua's not playing, I'm giving Alabama. I'm giving LSU. LSU gonna have a chance.
Yeah.
If Tua's playing, LSU don't got a snowball chance in here. I'm saying that now, especially a healthy Tua. If Tua's a little bit nicked up and can't do shit, then he may as well put the other dude in there. Mm-hmm. Which he's not a bad quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback. No. Oh no. I mean, he reads defenses and he's not a run. He got an arm too.
That's what I'm saying. He's not a bad quarterback. So he could beat them alone. But the thing is, Tua gives you more than the quarterback, than the guy that's ahead of him. So I would say being a big game, and where is this game gonna be at? Is this gonna be in Tuscaloosa? That's crazy because LSU have a winning record in Tuscaloosa. That's crazy. They actually have a winning record in Tuscaloosa. But they have a losing record in Baton Rouge. So that's the crazy thing about it. So
and Bama has a winning record in Baton Rouge and a losing record against LSU in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, that's crazy. So and for many years, neither one of those teams could beat each other on their own home field. That's the crazy thing about it. For many years, I think it was 1966. And I think until 2001, LSU finally broke the curse when Saban became the head coach. And ain't that some shit? But nevertheless, this could be a dangerous game for Alabama. That's just me being realistic. Now the nigga in me, I want to say, goddamn it, motherfucker, I want Alabama to kick their motherfucking ass, but I have to be realistic. So here's what it is.
All right, now. Okay, well, I'm a Quora. See, Quora just asked. I get on this site called Quora. That's Quora, and somebody asked the same question. I answered this. LSU's offense has been off the charts all this season, all in part to Ed Orgeron hiring one of the New Orleans Saints offensive coaches and then solved the Sean Payton offense. I hope this type of offense isn't a one and done deal, but it is impressive. Alabama's offense has been run on all cylinders. My issue is will Tua be 100%? On defense, I say they're pretty even with them both running 3-4. Alabama is more balanced on defense because they run more man and they don't blitz a lot. LSU runs a mix of man and blitz, and not to mention zone. That made Auburn's Bo Nix look remedial. All in all, I think Bama will win by 3 points. Also, you have to factor in the coaching because Saban and Eddie O can make some boneheaded decisions at times.
Yeah. I agree. 1,000%, man. I agree, bro.
And here's something we don't know. Alabama's secondary, Patrick Surtain II, played for played for Nick Saban in Miami, and
Uh-huh.
Trevon Diggs is the younger brother of Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
So it's all agree with everything, but you gotta look at the respectable defense because sometimes LSU they defense is a strange cat because Dave Aranda he give a 3-4 look, but when you look at it, they really don't run a lot of 3-4. They just go out there and run packages, fronts and packages. That's it.
Yep.
So it's all gonna come down to the defense and mainly the offense. And you also got to pay attention to commentators when they say, "Oh, this is going to be a defensive game. It's going to end up being a shootout. Oh, this is going to be an offensive game. It's going to end up being a defensive game." But I'd say in that fourth quarter, Ed Ogeron and Saban going to start playing chess. But it's going to be a good ass game, Shit. Sucks I won't be able to. Well, I'll be here at the house, but I would love to go somewhere to go check it out, But I got Jimmy has Alabama by 7 points. I say Alabama win by 3.
Yeah, by 7. I definitely think it's a 7-game swing. So yeah, I really, yeah, I have to roll with a game 7-game swing.
Yep. All right. Uh, well, as y'all know, college basketball is in full swing. As Jimmy like to call them, Kentucky beat the number one team in the nation, Michigan State. Um, and the Puke Devils beat Kansas. Matter of fact, and I watched that game. Kansas beat they self. Pun intended.
Are we shocked? In
Kansas
Kansas,
beat themselves.
I mean,
No, I'm not shocked.
How often does Kansas beat Duke? That's like extremely rare for them to. I think they've beaten them one time about a year ago, but that's extremely rare. It's extremely rare that Kansas beat Duke. Other than last year in the Elite Eight, they hardly beat them. They hardly dream of beating these old. So yeah, it's easy work for them a lot of times. So yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm never shocked when they beat.
Your team that you your team that you have admitted being a fan of the Mark Few and the Proud of Gonzaga, they looked really impressive, and Trilly was out all last season with an injury. Kalon Trilly looked damn good, man. Popping
Yeah.
threes and popping them threes. That man was hitting corner threes.
Wow.
This a center and power forward now. Hey, this stage of the big man. You can't. I mean, Mark, like you said, you've been a fan of Mark. You're a fan of how when Mark few recruits say he get the guys that other schools don't want. He goes down in Compton and everywhere else to get these guys and the foreign players and stuff like that. Man, I'm gonna say though, man, because Carolina, that's Jimmy and I's team. They play Gonzaga this year. They may have ended up playing them twice this year. Cause let me tell everybody something. Everybody always talking about tournament time in March. The best games are the ones that's either played in the following tournaments: the NIT, the Maui Classic, the Honolulu Shootout, and the Great Alaska Shootout. Don't take my word for it about the Great Alaska Shootout. Ask the Puke Devils from 21 years ago when Kenyon Martin and them whooped their ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then find out to 2 days later when they did it.
Yep.
Kenyon Martin made Elton Brand look like shit
Oh yeah.
in that game. So right now it's too early to tell on the season. It's too early to tell right now in the season, but Jimmy said Memphis looked very impressive, and they did. Um, But I still think but here's an honest critique. I still think they're gonna have to learn to play well together. And Penny can't be pulling no and Jimmy may have to jump through his live stream and choke the shit out of me when I said he can't pull no fucking Calipari and not trying to slick let these guys play the way he wants them to play. He has to work with some guys on that team with their deficiencies. Like a couple of guys on there, they don't have no good 3-point shot. Like one of the guys was open, he faked it, and then he passed it. And Penny would look at the man like, "What is you doing? You was wide open. Shoot it, you know." And look,
Yeah.
guys, if you are basketball players,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if you ain't got a 3-point, and this is with anybody, and I've said this before. If you're, I can't speak about baseball. Baseball is a different breed of cat. But if you football and baseball, if you're a football quarterback, and if you know you got some fucked up deficiencies about yourself, like not knowing how to read a defense, um, as the late great Bill Walsh said, uh, it's all about the feet when it comes to that. And when you think about it, he's not lying. He ain't lying. If right now the game has changed, guys. In basketball, we're in the era. I'm gonna talk about football in a minute. The big men are shooting threes because there's this guy that Jimmy J and I we respect him on a level as a person from that on that 30 for 30 special we watched about John Calipari, which is good. But as a coach, he doesn't get no respect from me because he handicaps guys. Case in point.
Yeah.
Case in point. Sorry about that, y'all. Getting notifications on YouTube. Case in point. When I call Carl Anthony Towns, Carl Anthony Clowns. Because this man went stepping up his game like he's supposed to and still stuck under that Calipari umbrella. And what happened? This dude leading the league in field goal right as of now. He leading the league in field goal percentage and he leading the Minnesota Timberwolves in 3-point percentage.
Yep.
And out of all the ones that came out, as a matter of fact, him and Willie Cauley-Stein came out together. Tell me why Carl Anthony Towns can develop a jump shot, but not Willie Cauley-Stein.
Willie Cauley-Stein had that jumper in high school, though. It just when he went to Kentucky, he was handicapped 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? Then when he got back to the NBA, you know what I'm saying? He proved that because I remember one game he had hit 8 threes one game last year. So yeah, he's always had it out there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and he's not, and he shoots threes, but he's a physical specimen inside and out. He plays defense, and he rebounds very well. So with that being said, if I'm him, I don't know how long he plans on staying with the Wolves, but
now I'm talking Willie Cauley-Stein with the now you kind of lost me. Was you talking about? Now I said Willie Cauley-Stein didn't have no jump shot.
I meant Carl Anthony Towns, but Carl Anthony Towns always. I'm saying Carl Anthony Towns have always had a jumper, whereas and I don't know if he's had a jumper or not, personally, but Willie Cauley-Stein is more of a role player in the NBA. I don't think he's ever going to develop a jumper. I think he's going to be a guy that comes off the bench more than anything. But, Carl Anthony Towns, he's impressed me very, very heavy from the defensive standpoint, from the rebounding standpoint, even and from the offensive standpoint. Ever since Butler left, he's had to take up all the slack pretty much. Andrew Wiggins sucks.
He still does. He garbage.
He sucks ass. And
that's one thing I agree about LeBron on putting in motion by trading him on out of there because everybody knew he sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
or as my boy Trey Murphy say, them boys from Canada, them Canada boys.
He can get you some points, but that's all he gonna get you. He doesn't play any defense. His intensity is not there. And I think at some point within the next 2 or 3 years, Carl Anthony Towns is going to have to find another town. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because
I
I
mean,
don't think
Golden
he's.
State.
I think Golden State need to look into getting that dude. I mean, I don't know why they signed Draymond Green to that extra ass contract, but that's swollen state. They ain't golden no more. Swollen state, man. So
Rio
it is.
James 12, what's going on? He done joined us.
Okay, tell him what's up. What's up? What's
What's
up,
going on,
live?
Rio?
Direct? Yeah, live and
All right,
direct.
got some listener questions here. You ready, Jimmy?
Go ahead.
This first one comes from Naya in Hello, Shot-Town. She said, "Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Craig." She said, Craig, I really enjoyed Jimmy's interview with you on his Jimmy JSmoove Network show, but I felt I was left hanging on something. Jimmy never asked you about and I have two things I want to know. One, Jimmy never asked you about your military career, or let alone you never went in depth with it. What made you join? What were some benefits of it, and what were some disadvantages, and what made you leave? Second, and my second question is, what if? What if you didn't join the military, and let alone what? And to my understanding, you revealed little snippets of your personal life that you had got married in 2015, and you had to leave. You had to leave Memphis, Tennessee, relocate to Huntsville, Alabama, to be with your wife at the time. What if you hadn't got married? How things would have been for you that year? Naya, thank you for that. But I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say the best question last, because I'm gonna answer the second question first. I more than likely would have been gunning for team leader if had I stayed at FedEx, and I would have been there 18 years. Because my initial goal was to stay there for 20 and get on down. I wasn't gonna do it anymore because, correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy. Our old employer does give us an option to retire early. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I was gonna retire. I was gonna retire my 20th year. Um. Now, granted, like I said, my ex-wife at the time, a lot of people was like, "Well, hey, she can, she can move on. She can move on up here, man. That way she can work with you at FedEx." First of all, and she said to herself, she would rather move she would rather move back to Atlanta before she would move back here. She would move before she would move up here. And I remember her words, and that came out of her mouth 4 years ago. In which you see why, because and she even thoroughly investigated the job market, and she said it's not enough good jobs. Said because you said everybody is study going back to nursing school, which is true. You got some people that and I don't know how many years it take for nursing school and whatnot. Man, some folks have been taken by like 6 or 7 years to go to nursing school just to get that good paying nursing job. And with her being, with her qualifications like truck driver license and all, her driving trucks and stuff like that. Now, hypothetically, had that happened, I think she could have drove for somebody locally, you know, just do something local and this and that or whatever, or just kind of been like on call or whatever. But and realistically, man, she didn't want to leave because she wanted to be close to her family, which most of them lived in the some of them lived in Montgomery and others lived in Selma, which was understandable. So hey, I had no choice in regards on that one. So that's that. Now to the first question, I talked about my military career numerous amounts of times, and I think I've talked about it a couple weeks ago. I really joined just for the bread. You know, it made me a better man. You know, hey, it brought about a character in me and stuff like that. But you know, I'm gonna be honest. You know, in most of the drill sergeants, hey, they had it tough. You know, some of them pretty cool, but most of them were paid to play a role that they weren't in real life. Tough. You had some that you had some that had to take it to the extreme, and others they had their um they had their little deficiencies and stuff like that. Like I talked about drill sergeant, but a cat by the name of shout out to him of a guy by the name of Fabian Gosling. Uh, Good dude, man. But sometimes and at the time he had said at the time when he started, when I got to basic, he had just turned 27 years old. So he's probably about, like I said, probably right now about 48, 49, I guess. But and then there was some things, and I'll be honest, some of them come across as intimidating, but and Fabian, if you hear this, I'm just gonna tell you, it is what it is. When I say about how you was back then as a drill sergeant, you weren't that intimidating. You did your job, but intimidating, no. Some of them came across, some of them tried to be intimidating and stuff like that. Others, you know, most of them I felt they were just, most of them I felt that they were just, they were getting paid to play a role that they weren't in real life. However, I do have respect for them because, they went, well, some of them, and with the drill sergeant school, what's fucked up is they have to go back and do basic training again. That's basically drill sergeant school. Yes, that's drill sergeant school. So, like, just say, Jimmy, like, just say, like, if you was in the service now, okay, you did the
Mm-hmm.
basic training AIT. Then all of a sudden you get that letter say, "Hey, you've been selected to be part of the drill. You've been selected to be a drill sergeant, effective immediately, effective so and so so and so. You have to go to drill sergeant school. You got to do basic training and AITA. You got to do that shit all over again, plus some." And for what I heard, now I got a lot of respect for. Now I got a lot of respect for them. When it comes to that, man, I mean, and, most of them some of them are tough in that regard. But you had some that act like you had some that act like they weren't that they were tough and intimidating, and some of them weren't. Most dressage weren't they weren't. But I got out in 2003 because out of the National Guard in 2003, Nia, however you want to pronounce your name, I was tired. And after when I got mobilized in September 2002, going to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Then turned around had to go to Fort Monroe, Virginia. I told one of the guys, a guy by the name of OJ, yeah, he retired sergeant now, OJ Turner. I told him, man, I said, you know what? I said, dude, I said, this it for me, man. He's like, I can tell. I said, hey, this it. And I said, I ain't never, he and I, we talked about it. And this back in 2003, I said, man, I said, dude, this it. I said, this it for me, though. I said, because I got a feeling when they were trying to pressure everybody to re-enlist and shit like that. Next thing you know, we're gonna be going to Afghanistan for about 2 years. And Jimmy, I said, sure enough, right after I was discharged and had I re-enlisted, they started sending folks that following year in 2004, all of them to Afghanistan for 2 years.
Yep.
So I was glad I was glad to dodge that bullet. Now, had I not joined the service, some of the things I did 2 years ago. Like I graduated college. You know, that VA money for school helps out. They paying you to go to school, and that was the main. That yeah, like I said, I joined the military because of the bread. That really was the main reason why. Hey, they paying me to go to school, so the fuck, might as well. But
Man,
had I not joined, man, I'm 19 years old. I just wanted to concentrate on being 19 years old. Trying to be out with my friends and stuff, working, making money. PlayStation was out the norm then when my decorum was hopping on the Matter bus, or sometimes if I didn't want to catch the bus on Lauderdale, my ass would walk up to Hamilton High's bus stop and catch the Elvis Presley bus and go to the mall.
yeah,
That was
43,
my thing. That was my thing.
43 Elvis Presley.
hmm but back then it was the 13 till they changed to the 43.
Yeah,
So I would get on, man. I would get on that bus, man, because there was 213s. 213 Lauderdale was you had Lauderdale and Waldorf and Lauderdale Wellington. I called either one. I called either one of them bad boys. As long as I got to the mall, that's all that mattered. So that that's what I want to do. Had I not joined the service in 97, around 96, 97, that's all I want to do. Yeah, I would have had a car and have my driver's license and stuff like that because I got my driver's license when I was stationed at Fort Monroe up there in Virginia.
okay.
So, yep. But other than that, man, that's more like what would have happened. All right, find some more questions here. I've had them pulled up. Uh, oh, Jimmy's gonna like this one. All right, Jimmy, this question's for you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
This comes from Bayou Tiger Bayou Tiger 12 at MSN I'm saying MSN. Well, that's what Hotmail is, MSN.com. At Hotmail.com, and he wants to know.
Why LSU a hoe? Oh, okay.
No. He wants to know. Said Jimmy McWright said, Craig, could you please ask Jimmy? And I got to know if Ed Orgeron walked past him, what would Jimmy say to him? Hey, but wait, before you ask that question, we're gonna get some Ed Orgeron questions about this.
I would tell that motherfucker to go to hell. That's what I would tell him. I'm asking shit. I would just tell him to go to hell. Well, let me tell y'all motherfucking LSU fans something. Right, enjoy y'all undefeated record while y'all happy. Because I don't on Saturday, y'all gonna hold a L. You probably gonna hold another L against A&M, but nevertheless, man, just enjoy y'all time doing the damn thing right now.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Is it? Wait a minute. Did this? I think Bayou. I think he didn't slick. Put a Jimmy take the wheel on this thing. So
We ain't gotta go there yet. We ain't gotta go there. We ain't gotta go there. We ain't gotta go there. I said what I had to say about them hoes. You know what I'm saying? So hey, enjoy y'all
but he
now.
also has, but Bayou Tiger 12. But he also asked. He said, but in all seriousness, are you impressed right now with Are you impressed with LSU season right now, and with Joe Burrow in Joe Burrow's final season? After that, do you think their offense will take a huge step back the following season?
Hell no, I'm not impressed with y'all asses. And I'll tell you why I'm not impressed with y'all asses. because y'all offense is supposed to be what they supposed to be. When you're ranked that high in recruiting, when you're a top 10, top 5 team in recruiting, y'all offense supposed to click on all cylinders like that. The last few years, LSU have been like in the top 10. So no, I'm not impressed with that shit because that's what y'all asses supposed to hit. No, because y'all still are recruiting very well, and y'all might fuck around this time next year and go undefeated the same way y'all did last year because of recruiting. So no, I'm not impressed with that. Y'all supposed to do that. LSU supposed to look good. Any team that's in the top 10 in recruiting year in and year out is supposed to look good. Y'all supposed to look good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the LSU's quarterbacks or offense is going to take a hit when Joe Burrow leaves. It probably gets better for all I know. So
why are you impressed with it this year?
I'm not, because they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's supposed to be good. You're supposed to be good. You know what I'm saying? Not to sound salty or not to sound salty, but shit, y'all supposed to be good. Shit, it's not a shock.
I gotta agree with you because I mean, come on, you got to get a guy from Sean Payton's staff from New Orleans to show y'all what to give the fucking program.
Exactly.
And it's fucking lights out. Jimmy, when was the last time you seen the LSU team in the top 3 in the nation in total offense?
Total offense? That's probably some years ago. I know the national championship team wasn't that good offensively. They had a good running game, but they wasn't that good overall offense. So you're probably talking about the 80s or some shit like that. You know, if that. Because I don't think they've ever been that good in the top that way and offensively ever. You know, but I could be wrong as well because they did have some good quarterbacks to come and go. You know, they might have been good in college or okay in college, but they went to the league. Shout out to Jamarcus Russell. Shout out to Jamarcus Russell. Pretty.
Did you see that? Did you? And that what I sent you, that was true about him. He never studied tape
because it was blank. The tape was blank.
And the coach asked, "Did you study tape?" Said, "Yeah, I looked at all the blitz packs." And then he told me, he said, "Yeah, they were tape. They were blank."
Yeah, I think Jamarcus Russell just gave up more than anything. He just gave up in the NFL. He just gave up. That's all that was. And then the dude got fat. He ate himself out the league because the dude was fat as hell. So it is what it is. But he was a hell of a college quarterback, you know, especially when he was mobile. But when he ballooned to 280 pounds as a quarterback, he couldn't do shit. You can't do shit when you're that fucking big. You know, so you may as well be a fucking lineman. You may as well give up your quarterback position to be a defensive tackle.
Yeah, almost like Jared Lorenzen. That man was what, like?
He was like 6'4", 300 pounds, and that come back to haunt him ultimately because he had heart problems for the latter part.
But the man had a fucking arm that the man was able to. But he was mobile as shit, though.
Well, that's because Hal Mummy and whatchamacallit was the offensive coordinator. Yeah, Mike Leach was the offensive coordinator over there. So yeah, because everything that was coming out of Kentucky at that time, as far as quarterbacks, they were doing hella good out there. You know, they just couldn't beat Tennessee or Florida or any of the top teams because, you know, hey, they were Kentucky. You know, they did one year under how Mummy beat LSU with Kevin Falk, but other than that, they didn't do much of shit. So Kentucky, Kentucky couldn't do anything. So it is what it is when it comes to it. So, but y'all doing what y'all supposed to do as a team, Bayou fans and LSU fans. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing what y'all supposed to do as the top level recruiting class. You know, so we was never shocked that Ed Orgeron was gonna have good teams. Is it gonna be good enough for him to stay at LSU for a long period of time? That's the question. If he can bring y'all a national championship, he's probably gonna stay a little bit of a while. I'll say that'll give him a good 7 years to fuck up. 7 years to be trash. Because that's all national championships is doing for coaches. You know, you're not going to stay there forever like some coaches will. You know, if you got a national title, you can stay there forever. But that's giving y'all a good 7 years to be garbage. So, nevertheless, y'all doing what y'all supposed to do. And like I say, get prepared for Alabama and break a leg. Just break a leg, LSU fans.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, this question comes from me, Jimmy. What team, with college football winding down, because we doing it early, because everybody know we're gonna do our little things later. What team has impressed you so far, and what team has impressed you so far? What team has surprised you, and what team was a major disappointment right now?
Mm. Oh shit! What team has impressed me so far? What team is a major disappointment? Even though they may get in a bowl game if they get their shit together, the disappointing team is the UT Balls. That's not even a damn question. Yeah, they're disappointment. Losing to garbage ass teams like Georgia State, who just created a football team less than 20 years ago, who just got into Division 1A
Mm-hmm.
less than maybe 10 years ago. That's a fucking disappointment. And then losing to BYU, I don't give a fuck how good they fucking offense is. Fuck them hoes. Them bitches can't even crack the top 100 in recruiting. You're not supposed to lose to a team that can't crack the top 100 in. They're not even on Rivals. How the fuck you lose to a team that's recruiting class is not on Rivals top 100? So that's inexcusable for them hoes. That's the team that's disappointed. The team that surprised me, oh shit. You know what I'm gonna say? The team that surprised me more than anything.
Who?
Team that surprised me more than anything is Oklahoma. Even though they got an L on their resume, they holding a big ass L. They shocked me. The way they worked with Jalen Hurts when he was at Alabama being trash. Jalen Bud Hurts. Yes, they got an L on their record against Kansas State, but name a time that Kansas State since the Bill Snyder era didn't give Oklahoma problems. I mean,
When Michael Bishop was quarterback.
Yeah, so they've always given the hoes problems. So other than that, Oklahoma has shocked me as a team. And what's the other question? The biggest surprise.
Who's the most impressive? Who's the most surprising team? Who's the most disappointing team?
The most impressive team right now. Hold on for a second. That's an alarm. That's normally to take my ugly ass to bed. So, but yeah, the most impressive. Who's the most impressive? The most impressive is right now Alabama, and it's two teams: Alabama and Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I said those are the impressive teams. I put a tie right there because Justin Fields got them boys looking good. I haven't seen much of them defensively, but I know offensively, if you ain't scoring 40, 50 with them hoes, you better be up out of there. And, and that's due to them recruiting in SEC country as well as getting top level recruits in the state of Ohio. And Alabama is just Alabama. Alabama, I don't think they've even had a scare this year. So, other than the
No.
Tennessee game was somewhat of a scare. But Tennessee found a way to get when that fumble return had happened, But that's a rivalry game, so they made it a game because mostly it's a rivalry game, and rivalry games will creep up on you when you least expect. So other than that, they haven't had really a scare from anybody. So those are the two most impressive teams. In Ohio State, in Alabama may be on a collision course. That's the crazy thing about it. They may be on a collision course, and maybe Oklahoma may be on a collision course. I can't say. I would say
Oklahoma gonna be in a collision. Where they're saying as of right now, Oklahoma may be on a collision course with Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
I wouldn't be shocked.
That's the rut. Well, that'll be the rematch. That'll be Georgia Oklahoma Part 2. So we'll see.
That'll look. That'll look good. So yeah, those are the teams I would pick right now.
All right, my turn. Most disappointing team to me, Clemson.
Wow,
David, you talk, huh?
Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, they well, here's why. Trevor Lawrence has been playing like shit. He don't have no receivers, and this really is, and you basically explained it at the top of the program what Clemson's issues are. The reason why they're undefeated is not only because of Travis Etienne, but it's because of the defense. Now, let me see. The 2017 defense, I forgot what year that was. It was a year when Brent Venables lost 9 starters to the NFL, and then the following year, matter of fact, when they first won the national title, that was Deshaun Watson's last year. Brent Venables, that defense that Brent Venables had from the previous year, they had lost 9 starters, and then when they won the national title, them fools they were number 1 in 3 defensive categories in the nation. And this defense here, I don't think that this Clemson defense can light a candle to that defense. Then that's the only thing that's safe. I'm disappointed with Trevor Lawrence. He out there hot dogging it. He out there hot dogging it. He not letting the game come to him. He coming to the game. And also you have to fault Dabo, because Dabo didn't. All of Trevor Lawrence's weapons is gone, and whoever the wide receiver coach is didn't develop the receivers that they have now. Because some of them dudes may be missing easy catches, making excuses. The light be in my face. How the fuck the light be in your face when it's partly cloudy? So yeah, Clemson, they're undefeated, but they're disappointing. Now I got a tie for most surprising team. You ready?
Go ahead.
You said you were most surprised with Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tie. Kansas State and Southern Methodist. And Southern Methodist need to be ranked higher than 25. Because Sonny Dykes in 1 year had made Shane Buechele go from a garbage ass quarterback up at Texas, up under Ellinger, sorry ass Sam Ellinger, to a fucking lights out quarterback that's on pace of throwing 5,000 yards, and he coming back next year. This Southern Methodist was a team that was on the death penalty for about a year, and they have matched their win total from 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, already 8, and they are bowl eligible. So I look for Southern Methodist to finish 11-2 this year. So Sonny Dykes got them going this year. Kansas State, that was no surprise. I wish their quarterback would throw more touchdown passes more than running for him. The coach for Kansas State, he came from North Dakota State. He's done a good job with him. He he had some little hot moments, but he picked it up. I'm liking Kansas State's offense. So most surprising teams is Kansas to me, Kansas State and Southern Methodist. And the most impressive team, I roll with the Tide, but right now, as much as how they're stacked on paper and in living proof, fucking Ohio State is the most scariest. Is not only the most impressive, they are the most scariest team right now. Because Justin Fields doing his thing up there, man. 24 touchdowns, 1 interception. The defense is fucking lights out. I mean, you can't go no wrong with that. And you saying they may be on a collision course with Alabama. I got a feeling they more on a collision course with LSU. I would love to see that game. Man, I would love to see that game. But Ohio State, hands down, most impressive team so far is college football. But these teams that we're saying are right now, as of right now. But when the season ends, when whatever team hosts their trophy in January, then Jimmy J and I will tell you who really has impressed us, who surprised us and disappointed us.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, most
Yep.
definitely.
All right, man. Speaking of next year, let's see. Everybody in the school system, especially Shelby County Schools, since y'all started school in August, September, October, November, December. Let's see, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Okay, we are in the we're in the fourth out of ninth. I know it's always 9 school. It's 9 months in the school year. So Jimmy J and I would like to take the time out for all you future 2020 graduates and so forth and so on, and especially some of the people to the older generation, like your parents or whatever, young parents and people like myself and Jimmy's age. We would like to school y'all on several things about job interview etiquette. Now, I'm not taking shots at nobody on job interview etiquette because several job interviews I have went to, some people you could tell by looking at some people that they are not properly trained in job interview etiquette, or they never were told how to dress, how to do this and how to do that. So Jimmy J and I we're both gonna Jimmy J he'll chime in on some things as well as I say, and we will both go give you all some basic pointers for both females and males on what y'all should do and don't do when it comes to the job interview. Dress appropriately is one thing. Dress, if ladies, if you got tattoos on your neck and stuff, and if it's cold outside, invest in a fucking turtleneck sweater. Okay, it helps. Fellas, you do the same thing. Because when you go to your job interview, because all the tattoos like on your neck or whatever, that's going to give the interviewer a bad impression about you. If you have a shitload of tattoos on your arms, don't wear short sleeve shirts. Wear a long sleeve shirt. Cover it up. You know, hey, dress as a suit and tie or whatnot, or need be dressed like in a long dress in a dress shirt and some jeans, and everything else and some casual shoes. Also, pull your pants up. The fellas, hey, fucking pants pulled up. I've seen on several job interviews where I went to where people had their pants pulled halfway down. You know where you at? You walking by the, what y'all think y'all walking around by the jail? What you telling them? Hey, open an invitation while y'all in the jail? No. When you go in the job interview, hey, pull your pants up, wear a belt, and also sit up properly, sit up straight, like yes, home training. Don't slouch like you sitting like you're about to play pocket pool. That gives a bad impression to the interviewer. Be calm, and also be calm when questions are asked and you answer questions. Don't be nervous. Don't stumble over your words. If a question is asked about how did you handle a certain situation, Answer properly. Don't answer like, yeah, man. Well, know what I'm saying. I handled that. Know what I'm saying. The way like a real nigga should, like a real G should. Know what I'm saying? No, don't answer that question like that. Answer the question in the proper way. Like, well, certain ways I handle the situation. If I couldn't handle it, such and such, I would get my supervisor. Because if it's things that's beyond for me to handle, I would get my supervisor. Him get his supervisor, and that's that on that. So have some etiquette about yourself. Dress casual. Keep a haircut. Keep yourself groomed. Ladies don't. Ladies, if you got if you got a fucked up lace front, straighten that damn lace front up before you go to your job interview. Fellas, if your beard nappy, comb that sucker. Cause I see a lot of guys around here that's be unkempt going to job interviews. They fucking facial hair and the hair on their head look like be so all napped up, look like shit turds and shit chips and shit having a congregation on your face. So probably take care of yourself. Be presentable. Anything like that, Jimmy?
You added everything I wanted to add, so you can take over.
Okay. Another thing. I'm gonna explain this golden rule here. The ultimate rule. If they don't ask you, don't tell. Okay? Say what now?
I said I agree. I agree.
When you at a job interview, you're there for that job. Also on the application, if they ask you, matter of fact, I'm gonna throw this little tip in. If they ask you how much you like to wait, right on there, we'll negotiate. You negotiate what your starting pay will be. Okay? If you making $17, $18 an hour at your current job, don't tell your job don't tell that job you interviewing to what you are making right now. You let them come to you with an offer. Like just say like for example, right now, if Jimmy were to interview for Goodman in Houston, and he's already making at his current job, he's making $18 an hour. He come up to Goodman and say, well, Jimmy, the only thing we can just offer you is just $15 an hour. That's up for Jimmy to decide whether he want to take that job or not. The thing is, you let the job come to you about what you want to start making. If they don't ask you, don't tell them.
Exactly.
Because granted, it's a lot of people around here these days that got some fucked up morals about themselves. Their moral compass is a little. Their moral compass reminds me of the compass that Johnny Depp had in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Broken. So some of y'all need to fix y'all moral compass, man. And if they don't ask you, don't tell them shit. When I go on job interviews, I don't tell them how much I make from my last job. And you ain't got to tell them because they'll probably already know what you're making. And it's a thing called a background check.
Yep.
So when you go into a job interview or whatever, don't fucking tell them how much you're making at your current job now. You let them ask you that. And then let them make the offer.
The only time I would say, now I will say this: if you're in a position to where you can find any job you want, like if you're in management, you could kind of get away with that. But if you're a lower level nigga, or you're not in that type of job market, I 1,000 110% agree with that. Because sometimes when you're in management, you're telling people what you're leaving a job for another supervisory position or managerial position. They gonna be wanting to throw out the bag to you anyway. Even if you're an executive, you can kind of throw that out there when you're an executive. If you're not in either one of those positions like that, if you're not in a position like that, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm in total 1,010% agreement with you. Continue, brother.
Yeah. So don't ask, don't tell. I don't care if that's the way you roll, but guess because when you roll, if that's the way you roll, guess what? The job gonna show you the way they roll too.
Out the door.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's gonna be. So, you want to add any other couple of things to that, Jimmy?
That was pretty much it in terms of that. So yeah.
Okay, I said dress appropriate and also to the younger people, don't be afraid to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am at a job interview either, regardless of how the interviewer is. Cause I was interviewed by one. I said, "Oh yeah, yes, ma'am." And they're like, "Well, you ain't got to call me ma'am." And say, I'm 30. I'm like, "Oh shit," Okay. But it's just for be just being it's just you, but just be respectful, be mindful and respectful at job interviews. They ain't your main. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I used to work at McDonald's, man. Yeah, man. No, they ain't your man. Cause guess what, man? When they listen to you talk like this, man, your ass gonna be out the dope, dog. For real though, man. Yeah. On this and that, on your toenail, your ass will be going out the door when you be talking like that, man. So don't go up in the job if you talking like that, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, cuz. You going there for a job interview. You're not in the streets. So, but other than that, man, I think that was it. Just wanted to cover those three topics, man. And Jimmy J, he agreed with me on some things. Man, Jimmy, you got anything to add before you call it tonight, brother?
No, man, great show, man. So yeah, I'm about to call tonight as soon as we get off this mug. So yeah, good show, man.
I appreciate it. So with that, in mind, for Jimmy JSmoove, I'm Craig Smith II. Peace out.
Peace.